area where they decided to go with it. The mayor we had then was somebody that was all buddies with everybody. And they finally got theirs, and our mayor tried to say, well,
February 18th, 2025, council meeting, 7 p.m. All right. Good evening, everyone. Deanna Jenkins, do you mind leading us in the pledge, please? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you very much. Roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Blankenship. Joseph.
Here.
Ginsmore.
Here.
Steiner here. Godwin.
Here.
Clackler.
Here. All right. Approval of minutes.
So moved.
We have second?
Second.
All right. Any additions, deletions, comments on the minutes? Okay. Call for the vote.
Clackler.
Aye.
Godwin.
Aye.
Steiner. Aye. Ginsmore.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Blankenship.
Do we have a motion to amend the schedule, tonight's schedule?
I'll make a motion to amend the schedule.
Second.
We're,
Any specifics there?
yeah, amend the schedule to let Brett Fegan? Fegan. Okay, I'm sorry, Brett Fegan speak. Hold on. Please.
Sure. Did your second still stand, Jan?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Call for the vote.
Godwin.
Aye.
Clackler.
Aye.
Steiner. Aye. Rita.
Aye.
Joseph. Ginsmore.
Aye.
Blankenship. Motion passes.
Brent, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you for amending the schedule for me. So my name is Brett Fegan. I am the municipal sales rep for Kimball. I've been with Kimball for about 3 years. I was in the Southern Territory, and then I moved up into the Northern Territory. And the funny thing is, Clinton stayed within my umbrella because Canton's our cutoff, right? So great to be here tonight. I was asked to come in and kind of present this extension. First, let me just tell you just a little bit about Kimball. We have 1,000 employees, around 550 trucks. There's 6 transfer stations all over Northeast Ohio. Your territory is serviced out of Canton. We've got a landfill in Dover. We've got a natural gas, or it's a renewable natural gas plant also in Dover. So one really cool thing is the trash that's picked up in your community goes into the landfill, starts to make methane gas, and that methane gas from this gas plant is converted into biodiesel CNG, which then fuels 80% of our trucks. So there's no other hauler in Ohio that I know of that can say that. So it's just a really cool thing, right? Your trash creating fuel that fills our trucks up. So in front of you, you should have the extension document. And as I was going through this and filling this out, January 2nd, 2006 was when Clinton Township, or as long as Clinton Township's been with Village. Do I keep saying township?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. Has been with Kimball since 2006. That's pretty cool.
So I think
We
that
were
initial.
early. I was
Yeah.
here when we,
Were you really?
yes.
Gotcha.
We had some visits.
From Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. Yep. He's the one.
Is he with the company still?
He's still with the company, but he's now selling the recycling. So when that recycling's bailed and everything like that, he has the buyers that he works with, and he ends up selling to them.
Well, you can tell them we remembered them.
He was here and he showed us how we could, one man could get like that desk over there
Yeah.
in the right position that
Yeah.
it could go. You know, he was selling the
selling
good
hard.
sides, yeah.
So I think that long-term relationship like that you've been with us when things are up and things are down, but overall, I think service has been pretty good. Talked to the mayor earlier. Biggest complaint he had mentioned was some of the delays that we've had in the, I'd say probably the last 2 years. Really, it was coming out of COVID and around COVID. Driver shortage, I don't want to give you the whole song and dance. We've increased our recruiting department. We have now 8 to 9 people that are recruiting constantly on the phones. I was also telling the mayor, it's not everyone can just jump into the trucks, right? There's lots of stipulations. You have to be able to sit for long periods of time, stand, get in and out of the truck, handle all the heat, the cold weather, the smells, work for 14 hours, operate the big trucks, and not get in an accident. Because as soon as you get in an accident, we do all of the investigation and potentially, you hit a bridge or something, you're done. So then all of a sudden you're trying to find somebody else. So we've since got that pretty much handled. I think you'll all notice service has been pretty good. So let's look at the extension. The current one ends March 31st, 2025. So we just came
Can you give me that date again?
March 31st.
I see it. Thank you.
2025. So all we did was basically extend this out another 3 years. So it's basically 3 years is how things have been going. And so this would go till March 31st, 2028. All right. Your previous price, or your current price right now is for unlimited with a 95-gallon cart is $20.76. Okay, just for reference. So if you open to that second page, for unlimited with a 95-gallon cart, we're offering or proposing $21.67. All right, that's around a 4% increase, which is technically what inflation is for garbage and trash collection right now. So then each subsequent year.
Question.
Sure.
4% increase, you say that's what it is for collectors right now. Is that what they're charging people or what their costs are? So is the 4% increase in cost? Or?
Yes, 4% increase in costs, and all Kimball's trying to do is passing that on. I hope inflation does come down. I don't know if it will. But it's still a very attractive rate. And this is considering you have a 4-yard dumpster, a 2-yard dumpster, a 3-yard dumpster, and then a 95-gallon trash and 65-gallon recycle that are built into this rate. Yep.
So this rate that the village, everyone in the village pays covers these dumpsters.
It sure does.
Okay.
Yes.
I understand the village's dumpsters, but I'll ask about this later. I don't know why the one that's not a village dumpster is included.
The little one was a cost to get it started, but I don't remember paying for the big one separately. However long ago that was. Probably did, I don't remember.
So yeah, these are the dumpsters that are on your report that I run that say zero. There's zero charge.
Right.
So these are included.
Okay.
And the 2167, that's per month?
Yes. And you're at 2076 right now. These are good rates, great rates. And if somebody didn't want to pay for the unlimited, there's always the bag service, which is the $13.50, and then they just purchase their bags, right? And keep in mind, you're also unlimited service. So it's not like we're saying you can only put this out or you can only put that out. I mean, it's pretty much what you put out is getting picked up. And that's, a lot of the other haulers are going away from that. Like a Waste Management, every bid that we do that comes out, it's cart plus 3 bags or cart only. Because where this is going with automation is they don't want drivers getting out of the trucks. No haulers want drivers getting out of the trucks right now, but we're still, a family-owned company that wants to provide good service and knows that we have a leg up on competition when we pick up everything, when a lot of the other ones are trying to say, hey, we just want to drive down the street, and pick them all up like that. So, yeah, that being said, I mean, this is very kind of simple. I don't know if I said the second and third year would be increased by the greater of 3% or consumer price index. We follow this consumer price index for garbage and trash very closely, and that's where most of our extensions are priced out at. So if whatever CPI is at the end of that period, and it's time for your go on to the next year, we would just communicate to you, hey, CPI came in at 3.2, and then your price would go up by 3.2 for year 2 and 3.
So you're saying these increases you're showing here may actually not be held if the CPI is higher than you expect next couple of years?
So the prices that you see right here are for the first year.
Okay.
That's just for the first year. On the contract anniversary date, we look at CPI, the government website, it's bls.gov, and then we see what garbage trash collection says, and then that is increased. That's it. That's what's happening right now for you too. So this isn't anything different than we've ever done for you. Same thing.
Well, I must say, and I was not on council when you guys started this in 2006, but I was watching council meetings, and I was very, very skeptical of choosing one, as a lot of people were. Back then, I think we were paying around $20 a month before you guys came in, and your price dropped around 16, if I remember correctly. And you've done a very good job of keeping the price from. I mean, it's been 2008. That's been 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Actually, a little bit longer than that. It's been 17, 8. So we're going on almost 20 years, and you've really kept the price to near where it was at that time. The only downfall that I saw came about 3 years ago when we were renewing the contract, and I spoke to you earlier, you addressed it, but I used to get a lot of complaints about, just because due to manpower shortage, which every company dealt with 3 years ago. That was not uncommon. You guys were suffering just because you're visible to us. That's where I got the complaints. Mm-hmm. Why didn't I get my trash on Friday? Why did they wait till Monday? And, we knew it was shortages. I've not had as many complaints lately as I did 3 years ago. So, that issue looks like it's been addressed. I think they were all suffering from it. Mm-hmm. But I just want to point out some of the good and bad with it. Yes, I was a true skeptic. Still not a big fan of one size fits all like this, but you have come through with flying colors in the respect of pricing throughout the years. So I thank you for that. Go ahead.
2013 contract I just pulled up, it was $16.59.
Okay.
In 2013. So I wish inflation was that good everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Wish you still
right.
did.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I do have to give it to Keith Kimball. When we sit down into these meetings, he's fully involved in these meetings. A lot of people would have somebody else doing their work for them like that. But he sits down and he's very honest, very honest person. And I mean, we don't just throw numbers at a board. There's reasons why the numbers are the way they are. We're looking at how long does it take from this truck to drive from here to here? What does it cost to depreciate our trucks over a certain amount of time? Carts cost this much, depreciate over a certain amount of time. So it's dialed in. It's dialed in pretty good, and I'm glad we can do that for you.
Any other questions from council?
Well, I know in past that, people have been able to put out like big items, and typically all it really needs is to call ahead to let them know that I'm putting something big out, like a mattress or a washing machine or something like that. and you still take it as long as you give up a notice up front.
Well, technically, I don't think you do have to call that in, but please do, because that helps us prepare. But you're unlimited. We know you're unlimited. These
Right.
drivers, when they pull in to Clinton, the village of Clinton, when they pull in, they know that there's going to be some situations where, there's a couch, a mattress, and a washing machine out,
I think that there was a restriction of one big item a month. That was a request at least. I don't know how much of a rule it was, but that's how they really wanted it to go, and that
Yeah,
might be
well-
the average person, so
Right.
no big deal.
I'll just say this, we're not running into a situation where we even need to really discuss it right now. I mean, it's unlimited pickup, we're picking up what's out there. And when we say unlimited, that's typically unlimited means reasonable household trash unlimited. So it's typically we say 2 cubic yards. So the cart plus 2 cubic yards is essentially like a little bigger than that desk. So 6 feet wide, 3 feet tall by 3 feet. So 3 by 3 by 6.
So I know during the pandemic, people had to wrap everything up,
Yeah.
like if they put a mattress out or a chair or something like that. The requirement is that still a requirement?
Yes.
Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, and that wasn't even about the pandemic or
Okay.
pandemic, either one. That was about bed bugs. In 2021, there was a bed bug outbreak in Cleveland, and it just spread, and we had drivers just quitting like crazy. They were taking it home and stuff like that. So then kind of the industry switched to wrapping, and it's worked. Some communities don't want to do it, but there's always going to be stuff laying on your, the side of the road if it's not wrapped. Drivers won't even pick it up these days.
Okay.
And that's written into most contracts now too.
And what about televisions?
Televisions, we'll take TVs. Now, if it's the older style TV with the big backs that are super heavy and big thick glass that needs 2 people to handle, that may end up sitting there. I mean, they'll try. They'll do their best. But if it's one guy who can't get it, then we would send a truck out on like a Saturday or something with 2 people that would pick it up.
It's the same way with the washing machine. 'Cause one guy get a
washing
washing
machines
machine.
seem to not be as much of a problem because I feel like the arm doesn't have a problem picking those up, or the guys can get them for some reason. But TVs with those big backs have been a problem.
Huh.
And then there's also like older TVs used to have like some sort of, was it gas inside the?
there's the tubes. You had to vent the tubes. You had to discharge them. There were probably problems. They had gas, and they also had 30,000 volts in them.
A lot of mercury in the TV
Yeah.
too.
See, that's stuff. So there's problems with those old TVs, but they're pretty much done. But these flat screens, drivers are picking those up, no problem. Yeah.
There's still a lot of old TVs in this village, I will tell you that.
Oh. Do they still work? Right, because they used
That's
to
why I
build
have a
things that
job.
actually lasted. Now it's just, put a
Can you
flat-
expand a little bit on bag service? It says here purchase of 10 bags for $10. Is it required to be in your bags then?
Yes, it would be. They're green Kimball bags, so the driver knows that those are our
Paid
bags
for.
and already paid for.
Okay.
How many of those customers do you have in this village? I remember 3 years ago, it was like minimal, like 1 or 2.
There's one. You have
Okay.
one bag resident right now. You have mainly everybody is under the unlimited plan.
Yeah.
Unlimited with the cart, 355. Yep. One bag. There's 32 people that are on limited service.
I think so, yeah. Is the recycle free then?
Yeah, recycle's built into this.
Okay.
Yep. Don't have to pay any
A lot
extra
of
for the
places
cart.
charge extra for, a lot of people, other companies charge extra for the recycle. That was one of the things that, when I did the research for
Yeah.
companies, drew us to Kimball, staying with Kimball, was that. But then there had been talk that a lot of people, maybe you could clear this up for us, people believe that the recycle stuff just goes into the regular trash anyway, so there's really no use for it. I was always told different. Can you expound on that
Oh,
for
yeah,
us, please?
it's 100%, not true. We absolutely recycle. We wouldn't send a separate truck with a separate driver, separate, I know, but it's money. Like, we would be wasting money. We resell that recycle. We also have, can't remember how many millions, I think it's 25 or $30 million recycling facility in Twinsburg, where we have this equipment that filters out all the cans. There's magnets that suck the cans and aluminum out. Glass falls down to the bottom, then we crush that glass and resell it. Cardboard, plastic bottles and jugs. And then Don Johnson's job is to sell that recycling. So that's not true. But I think when China decided that they weren't going to take recycling anymore, it had to be under 1% contamination. So that means that if they wanted all plastic and there was some plastic that they didn't take, or some toys or flower pots, they could reject the entire load. So that's when it started to come out that, okay, we think that the haulers are actually picking this up, not selling it to China, and actually throwing it into the landfill. Then up in Cleveland, somebody put an Apple AirTag on a recycling and tracked it to a landfill. So but that wasn't us. We didn't do that. So that actually sparked this whole thing. The news did an article on it, and basically it confused everyone. It's unfortunate that happened, because we spend a lot of time, energy, and money making sure we're doing it right. But no, we definitely take it to the recycling facility.
Good, I'm glad.
And you could tour that facility if you wanted to. If you reached out to me and you guys wanted to come up there, I could show you. It'd be no problem.
Okay, any other questions? Well, thank you very much, Brent.
Yeah, no
good
problem.
to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah, good to meet you too.
Now, follow-up action, what are you expecting from us? Just to get back to you by what date?
Not even really, well, I would say by the end of the contract, which is the 31st of March,
Correct.
right?
Okay.
So, but the sooner the better. That helps us just kind of get the paperwork pushed through.
Okay.
Really, just if the mayor signs or whoever is authorized to sign, sends it to us, sends it to my email. Do you have my card?
I do.
Okay. Send it to my email, and then
Okay.
I'll have Keith Kimball sign it. I'll send it back. We just continue doing what we're doing.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
You have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Take off, too.
Okay, all right.
Okay with that.
Yes, that'll be fine.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay.
You too.
Same to you. And I'm not sure if we are reaching out for other bids right now, so
We never
Ross
have.
has been looking into it, so
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
check
we
with
had a
him
meeting.
before we
get that info to
see
him.
if he's found anything. Because we're on very short time right now, especially we want 3 readings. We're on very short time. So just something to keep in mind. Let's move on to unfinished business. Church donation for signage. Any news on that?
No, but I do have more info, and kind of what I see the next step is I'd like to get with Bev Wasman, who was presenting that night, show her some of the options, and kind of get a blessing there and continue to move forward. So no new news.
Okay. Any other unfinished business? All right, moving on to mayor's communications. I seem to have left some of my communications at my home office. I expected to be there today sometime and didn't make it. But as of right now, I do have some notices. The grant that we talked about was frozen last time, the federal grant. Well, it's still frozen, just like our outside weather. So I'm hoping, sorry, Deanna. So I'm hoping, I looked at the weather forecast next week and I thought, I'm hoping Washington, D.C. does also and releases those funds, because I think we all want a new road. And for those of you who have not been here, that the funds is $1.2 million to help us with Clinton Road, which is in bad need of repair. Kevin put a patch on it last year, and I don't mean patch like this. I mean, he did both sides going up and down just to get us through, because that road is absolutely awful. So he put a temporary fix on there, which is a lot less, but it still needs. It's kind of like I equated to what we're doing on Route 21. Now, we as a village, but as a state of Ohio, they're actually rebuilding the entire sides of the road because what happens with these roads, they start off like horse and buggy trails, and they pave them at some point, and then say we need to widen, and they just widen them without putting any substructure underneath those parts they widen, so the sides always crumble. That's what's happening up there, and this plan that we have with our engineer is to actually rebuild those sides, rebuild the ditches underneath. There's a lot going into it that should get us by the next 30 to 50 years. And so while this may seem like a lot of money, what we're doing to it is going to be well worth it for the long haul. So that's what's happening with that. We do have last meeting, they wanted us to schedule with New Franklin regarding our fire department. That meeting has been set up, so Matt and I will be addressing a lot of things there as to the possibilities. We'll see what happens. Don't know what's going to come out of it, but we'll let you know next time. Another thing that happened is that on Facebook, on Clinton Village Talk, many of you may have seen something about something called an MS4, or a SWAMP, as part of Sewer Waste Management Program. That is something that Summit County used to do. And now what Summit County did is they said, we no longer want to do this, but we'd be happy to continue it for you for a lot of money. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but basically...
And what that is?
Well, I'll tell you, let me get to that. So basically, Matt and I sat down with our engineer and our solicitor last year at one point, and we took a look at that and said, you know, this would be a lot cheaper if we did it ourselves, which is what they wanted us to do. In order to answer more pertinent questions about that, which I'm sure are going to come up, I've talked to our engineer, I've talked to our solicitor. They will both be here next meeting. And our engineer is going to address all the details of this. And what he doesn't have, our solicitor will fill in, because Marshall Pitchford was very much involved in it at the time. He knew the numbers, and I remember the numbers were outrageous to let Summit County keep on doing it. It's that job they used to do. So if you have any questions for me during it, for tonight about it, I've answered all I can, but it comes to the next meeting, and we will have a lot more information so the public is well aware of what's going on and can ask all the questions that need to be asked about that.
You mean I should wait till the next meeting?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Well, you can go ahead and ask. I don't know if I can answer it. Go ahead.
What are they doing? I mean, what are they accomplishing?
Okay, I give you a little bit of this, of what I know about it. Basically, we're supposed to monitor the water output from our ditches and stuff like that. The idea is we're supposed to have clean water coming out. The reality is that's not always the case. So if we find places, then we'll have to address them. But it's a matter of keeping our streams and rivers nice and clean.
I think an important thing for residents to know with that is that Summit County is exiting that stormwater district, and they're pushing it on to the communities. They did offer to continue, but that was going to be charged per household in form of a tax, or we could start our own district, which we did to prevent those charges being passed on to our residents. But it is coming out of our general fund to do this district, so it isn't like we're getting off scot-free from a financial standpoint, but the residents are. We've absorbed that cost.
Well, and this is a one-time thing to set this up. The humongous bulk of it is one-time gets set up. We have plans in place where Summit County will be year after year after year. So first couple of years, yeah, we're saving a little bit of money, but it'd be saving a lot over the coming years, which Jason will address next meeting.
And Summit County was doing it from 2003 until December of 2024. Mm-hmm. And then we started in January of 25.
Yes. So that is all that I have for Mayor's Communications.
Could you tell me again the date of your meeting with New Franklin?
27th.
27th, okay.
February 27th.
Yeah.
Jan, you want to get a safety meeting together with the fire chief to maybe put together something for those guys to take to the table, or is this just a introductory discussion?
Introductory, informal, discuss ideas. Nothing solid's coming out of this, I guarantee you.
Yeah, but okay.
And I'm meeting with the fire chief tomorrow morning, so I'm reaching out to him for his input tomorrow.
For the last we'd heard from New Franklin, their offer was to dissolve the Clinton Fire Department and offer to provide the same service like to us as a fire department as they do the police department, which we
It's a
couldn't.
non-starter.
That's a non-starter from the very beginning. So, and going forward, then, we need to keep in mind, they still owe us money.
I'm aware of that. The
Yeah,
mayor's aware of that.
that's a habit.
Jan's aware of it. We're
Yeah.
all aware of it.
Yeah,
We will
Yeah.
bring it up at the appropriate time.
yeah.
Yes, I mean,
You'll
Yeah.
handle it.
Well, after this meeting, then, or will the safety committee should get together with the fire chief and pound out some stuff for if there is going to be more of a contract type situation.
we don't know. News at 11.
All right.
Film at 11.
They may make us an extravagant offer, we can come back and say, hey, let's present this. Or they may make something, we say, no, let's, stick to the drawing board till we get something I think is fair to everybody. But we don't know. We'll know after the meeting.
Bring it back to the safety
Okay.
committee and we'll go through it.
All right. So council communications and council committee reports.
Well, Mayor, we obviously had a lot of information for the utilities, public utilities tonight. So like we said before, we'll get that in front of Ross, and maybe we need to schedule a meeting quick for that and make our final decisions on the Kimball contract. As far as finance, I have nothing at this time.
Thank you. Any other reports? Okay, moving on to citizens' comments. Deanna Jenkins, you marked yes.
I didn't know if it was still being broadcast.
It is. Yeah, you're being, yes.
Okay. I want to commend each of you for running our village to the best of your abilities. There's tremendous responsibility that you were sworn in to take on, and I'm sure the hours are long and the pay is minimal. Every one of you up there is a leader. Together, you're a team of leaders. As leaders, you are held to a higher standard because of the influence that you have. As leaders, you represent our village every time you make an appearance or let your voice be heard in public. You are accountable to the village for the actions you take on its behalf and the words you use when speaking of our town. Each of you set the example. The strength of the team is each individual member, while the strength of each member is the team. A leader's attitude and general disposition often reveal as much about them as their competence and experience, sometimes more. Each of you are leaders, but are you each a great leader? Great leaders have many qualities: empathy, vision, integrity, collaboration, and respect, to name a few. I'm going to focus on two this evening: collaboration and respect. Collaboration means to foster teamwork, build strong relationships within the team, and value diverse perspectives. Great ideas come about when working together, not tearing each other down on social media. As leaders, you are going to disagree. As great leaders, you should disagree respectfully, put aside personal grievances, and come together to do what's best for our village. Respect is defined as treating everyone with dignity and valuing their contributions. Respect is not rolling your eyes when someone says something you don't like or publicly cutting down council members and members of our fire department. A great leader influences through respect. Your position gives you authority. However, your behavior either earns or loses you respect, not only with those that you lead, but also with those that you lead with. A member of council stated that most people don't know how to request meeting minutes or even know what meeting minutes are. If that is a fact, shouldn't a great leader use the social media platform to educate the villagers on what meeting minutes are and how to find them? Shouldn't they empower them so they could be informed and make their own educated decisions. So I ask again, are each of you a great leader? Thank you.
Deanna, thank you very much. You know, as long as I've known you, you've always done a great job of doing things like the most professional way possible. So I do, I do wish that everybody in our village took as much of an interest in what's going on here as you do.
I appreciate
All right. Thank you very much. Ellen, you didn't sign up for anything. Did you want to say anything? Okay. Bring some more friends next time. We have a lot of empty seats. Okay. All right. Next, resolutions and ordinances.
First reading, ordinance number O-25-03. An ordinance amending codified ordinance section 121.02 entitled Rules and declaring it an emergency.
I have a few questions on this ordinance, since this is the first reading. That's what the readings are for. If there's changes to be made, they get changed before the last reading. So in this ordinance, the new ordinance, it says, whereas the committee schedule as it presently exists is inflexible. That's not true. So the committee schedule as it's written into our ordinances at this time is titled, all meetings are subject to change or cancellation at the discretion of the committee chair. Committee meetings are not exclusive to this schedule. Additional meetings will be posted as scheduled. Committee meetings will not be scheduled on the first and last regular scheduled meeting of the year or on the first Tuesday in July. So it totally is flexible. It was built to be flexible. These are guidelines. The second thing, it says the committee schedule as presently exists fails to adequately serve the village. I'm not sure how the schedule fails to adequately serve the village. The committee schedule as presently exists fails to provide committees sufficient time to accomplish work in a committee. Well, if a committee needs more time, the committee is free to schedule more time, always has been, built into it as the committee schedule says. The committee schedule presently exists fails to meet the need. We already said that one. Okay. It impedes the committee schedule as it presently exists impedes the village's ability to discuss and consider and promulgate legislation for the betterment of the village. I don't know how this impedes anything. It provides a lot of opportunity. Whereas the committee schedule as it presently exists impedes the village council's ability to oversee the execution of the village's laws and ordinances and policies. Again, I fail to see how this schedule impedes the ability to execute the laws and the ordinances and policies. It having an outline of committee schedules, which is totally flexible, and as it says, that's not exclusive to this schedule. Anytime there's a meeting that needs to be, so the whereases are very confusing and quite truthfully not accurate. So I don't, maybe it goes back to committee or you guys have, or go back and like
What committee was scheduled for tonight?
It was canceled.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
It's within the
I
thing.
think,
Anybody, go ahead.
I think the intent,
This is a committee discussion.
this was discussed in committee, and the intent was to, I guess I'll start out with different and wrong aren't the same. We've just proposed a different way of doing it. We're not going to use the set schedule because we do seem to cancel a lot of those meetings. We're going to schedule as needed, like we talked about Ross Blankenship scheduling a public utilities meeting, and I haven't looked at the hard schedule that we once had, but it's likely not in time for us for this March deadline. So we can set that. Two purposes on the ordinance change. One was to get rid of the set schedule. Two is to do away with vice president, which I've voiced since I've been back. I didn't think was necessary. So those were the two things. I think the wording, I agree, it's legalese and those things are tough to read. I'm not sure why he's using some of the words he's using. That would be better asked of our solicitor.
Okay. I'm just saying, I mean, I understand your intent and that you don't like it, and that's okay, but this wording is inaccurate. It just is.
So Seth will be here, solicitor will be here at our next first of the month meeting. It's certainly appropriate to ask him some of that.
Resolutions and ordinances.
No second readings. Third reading, resolution number R-25-2, a resolution authorizing all actions necessary to accept Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, 2025 Energized Community Grant and declaring an emergency.
Third reading, do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this? I would like to say, I believe, this is a grant we get every year from NOPEC. And being part of NOPEC, what is it, for $2,500? Do you remember? It's usually a pretty significant amount. Not that we should, dwell too much on receiving money. I'm not complaining where it's coming from, but, I mean, it is something, when you think about all the people we could have our utilities through, NOPEC does have this every year for being part of them. I just wanted to point that out. I don't see a dollar amount in here. Okay. But we do get a grant from them every year, and they have really grown in the past 10 years. I've been up, I was at the facility last week. Yes, you had a
Didn't we get we got the generators?
We got the generators through the grant.
Through that grant.
I think we got lighting through the grant, but that is just one part of it. I think this is an actual cash grant.
Didn't we get the radar sign with a grant?
I think so. I think, a lot of improvements you see here are from the NOPEC grants. So it's something to keep in mind as we look at NOPEC, and all we have to do is approve this for me to sign. It gets, then that gets taken care of.
The other thing too, remember with NOPEC, they're doing the negotiating for us. So that's helpful. And then in theory, that saves all residents some money. And then we get the added bonus of some grant money. So all in all, NOPEC is a good partner.
Yeah, they are. And it's just, I know there have been times, especially a couple of years ago, we had a lot of complaints when things didn't work out. I went to one of their meetings. They did discuss the reason why and that they're on track to make it happen again.
That wasn't their fault.
No, it was a combination of things, but
It was a shakeup of that.
it was something way beyond what they could foresee. You're absolutely right about that. Okay, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Steiner, yes. Joseph,
Yes.
Ginsmore,
Aye.
Clackler,
Aye.
Godwin,
Aye.
Blankenship. Okay.
On to new business. If we want to attract more people, we've got to have something for them. Council general discussion. However, our ratings online are fabulous. So, believe it or not, sometimes we get over 250 views to 400 views of this council meeting. So there are people out there watching. Yeah, I was surprised first time I saw that. Council general discussion?
Matt, the last meeting you had indicated you felt that when the people voted for the combined station, that you felt that they were voting or not knowing or realizing that was going to be a limited time thing. basically.
I still think that. I don't think people would vote indefinitely to build a new fire station.
But it wasn't presented indefinitely. I mean, on the ballot language, did it say forever? When the council at that time, I don't remember that being when I voted against it.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't have the wording of the,
But I'm just saying that's
ballot
your
language.
opinion, though. I mean, it's good business. You don't make a forever agreement. You always have to.
good business. You don't build a new fire station for 10 years.
Well, it wasn't really a new fire station.
We bought a house, we
Yeah.
bought a property. New Franklin, we had to adapt that house. New Franklin put the second building up for us. Again, I just don't feel like voters allowed us to do that for just a period of 10 years.
Okay, but that's I'm just wondering if that would,
And,
I
you know,
don't
the second part of it too is,
presented that way.
the second part is we've left being a volunteer fire department to being a paid fire department. And you cannot go back to a volunteer fire department. So that was definitely forever.
Well,
And so that's, you know, now we're in the position of we always have to have a paid fire department. That's a big deal. And we're on limited finances.
I can tell you, I was here during that time once again as a spectator. Jan, you were on council at the time. I remember Phyllis Mayberry, and I remember the lady who showed up who was selling the house to us for the fire department. I remember when that all started, and you know, everything indicated that this was a deal going forward. Now, naturally, nobody makes a million-year contract, so the contract had to be limited. I think the first one was for 10 years. Am I saying this correctly, Jan?
it's right here, 10 years,
And then a 3-year, right?
Yeah.
and then 3 years.
And we renewed for 3 years. So, you know, all indicate is kind of like, I think, assumed at the time that this is not some temporary deal. It's what it
It's
appeared, if I
ongoing.
remember. Yeah, that it assumed it's going to be ongoing. So that's
What you do when you assume.
so that is where we were 15, 16 years ago, and we'll see what happens and see what kind of arrangement can be made, if any, and what the people want.
Well, if we need to look for arrangements, we can look at other surrounding communities too,
We can do that also.
if that has to happen.
Mhm. But we'll see what happens. All right, any other council general discussion? All right, so moving on to presentation of purchase orders and bills for approval.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I would direct our direct council to, and I'm not seeing it on our list here, but our mayor or our solicitor bill for last month was $5,500, which we used them a lot last month. At least we're not equaling the $7,000 payments we had back to back for 2 months. So, but still a substantial amount.
Is that due to our codified ordinances reviewing that?
A lot of it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So, and we talked about that last meeting in codifying the ordinances. I mean, I'm speaking general. I think it was $20,000, and we're spending 10% of that to have our lawyer check it, which was $2,500.
Now,
So-
how long is this gonna last?
The-
I've been around, from,
Well, fair question.
Until it doesn't. 'Cause we thought the first time they got codified that was gonna be the end of it. But then that company,
that's a whole
I mean,
new book.
and they've never been recodified. They've always been codified. It's just having a new company update it each time.
Fairly
So-
said. I won't
so-
use that anymore.
So, but this time it was an update. So now it seems as though this time we found a company that, okay,
The pipe burst.
whatever that was. This time this company seems going to be keeping up with the updates, and that's why we chose to go with them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Is
just want
that
to
likely to
clarification.
happen?
So hopefully,
I expect it will.
Because we spent an awful lot of money
Yeah,
printing new,
to Jan's point, this is, you know, in my 8 to 9 years serving as council person, this is the third time we've done
Had a different
ordinances.
company.
Yeah.
Well, and just for some clarification, they haven't always been codified. I remember back in Susan Yovichin was working on this, wanting to get it done, it didn't happen. Charlie came in and actually got it done at some point before I came on council, and that was a good thing.
That's
So,
what I was talking about,
yeah.
since the first
Okay.
codification.
The first time around, I think the company was very good, they just went out of business.
Yeah, that was,
And so we went to a company in desperation and acting very quickly, which is why I do not like to act very quickly. We jumped to a company with not knowing they would keep us updated. This time, I think more thought has been put into it. The company we found, I believe, from everything I've understand and what the research has been done, that we will have a company that will keep them updated and the Ohio Revised Code tied in with them as the updates come in Ohio, which are going to be happening quite a bit more this year from what I'm getting for some of the meetings I'm going to. So, yes, thank you for that. All right, do we have a motion to pay the bills?
I make a motion for Matt to pay the bills.
second.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Call for the vote.
Blankenship, Ginsmore,
Aye.
Joseph,
Aye.
Steiner, aye. Godwin,
Aye.
Clackler.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
I'll second it.